Now we're going to begin training of the left hand. As for the right hand, we will first deal with the arm itself and the larger muscles that position the arm before we deal with the hand and fingers themselves. As for the right hand, if there is trouble in the upper arm, there will be lots of trouble in the fingers also. Most guitar methods, because they ignore this fact and start you down on the neck at the first fret with the arm extended, guarantee that you will have this trouble in the upper arm and also in your fingers. So let's begin training the left arm and hand with discovering the sensation of the floating arm with a balloon exercise. Hold the guitar comfortably and position the right hand either in the cup or holding a pick. Just keep it resting lightly on the strings, pick a comfortable string, and then have your left arm hanging loosely at your side. Check your body and your breathing. Keeping your attention in your body, begin to raise your left arm, bending it at the elbow, but keeping the arm close into the body. Focus on the shoulder as you do this, keeping it relaxed as you move. Bring the hand close to the neck, and then touch your middle finger to your thumb. Now separate them and keep the thumb in line with the middle finger as you place the thumb behind the neck, and then lightly place your middle finger on the 6th string at about the 10th fret. With no pressure whatsoever, just the weight of your finger. Now, I always think of the image of a butterfly landing on a flower, so think of your finger as that light. Now, lift the middle finger off slightly from the string and then touch it to the string again, on and off very lightly. This is called finger flapping. It should be done at random during practice and in random situations to reinforce the feeling of lightness in the fingers, especially at times when an inactive finger is tensing in sympathy with an active one. In that case, you flap the inactive finger that would otherwise tense if left to itself. So if you're practicing something where the first finger is down and you notice that your second finger insists on tensing up, you would just relax it and flap it to the string a few times, which reinforces that feeling of lightness in the finger. So that is the light finger, and it's extremely important that you're familiar with this feeling. Your fingers will always be alternating between the light finger and the firm finger, which comes next. Many people play for years and have never had that feeling of a light finger because the first time they touched the guitar, it was with a very tight and a tense finger as they struggled to do whatever it was they were being taught, and it never changed. So become familiar with the feeling of this floating arm and light finger. Your arm is held up by the muscular effort of many large muscles, including the deltoids, pecs, and the biceps. It's a lot of work to do, and especially to do it with steadiness. It's even harder to maintain the steadiness once we begin to use the fingers. In fact, when the fingers are being trained for the first time, it's absolutely impossible to use the fingers and keep the larger muscles relaxed. That's why the fingers, when being first trained, must be developed by little baby steps, and at each step of the way, the awareness of the larger muscles of the upper body must be maintained. We must frequently check in with them using rotating attention and following where necessary. Let's get back to the light finger. We want to develop a great sensitivity to the light finger and all the gradations of gradual muscle contraction as we begin to apply force to the string. To accomplish this, let's do some finger flapping with string pushdowns. So, we touch the light middle finger to the 6th string again, and we flap it like before. And now we slowly push the string down toward the fret, but we only push it halfway. Look at the space between the string and the fret as you do this, and watch to see that you will only push the string down halfway. Now let it back up, and now halfway down again. Now increase the pressure slowly until the string just begins to make contact with the fret. That's your bare minimum pressure needed to get the string to the fret and get a clear note. This awareness of minimum pressure is one of the most important things that you can develop that will ensure your ability to make continuous growth as a player, so work on developing it further every day. Keeping the middle finger lightly touching the string, let's stretch out the index a bit to the 9th fret, just lightly touching the string. Notice that the index finger leans to the left as it goes down. It goes down also on the side of the tip. Also notice probably you have a little bit of a tension that occurs in the forearm and the shoulder as you make that little move with the index. Just notice that and relax it. Hold the index on the string a moment, pose, breathe, and relax. Now do a string push down with the index, pushing the string a little bit, and then just release it. Now holding the index in the middle on the string, reach out with the third finger to its fret, touch the string, push it down a little bit, and release. Check the body and your breathing and relax. Now reach out with the little finger. Notice that the little finger will go down on the right side of the fingertip. Be very careful to place the finger so that the distal joint, which is the last joint of the finger, actually bends. Very often, especially in the beginning, the finger wants to go down flat like that. So don't allow that. Make it bend in the last joint. And now we do a string push down with the little finger, halfway, all the way. Then we release it, and again we push it halfway, and then all the way. Now I have all four fingers on the string, with all light fingers being supported by the floating arm. Now this position is called all aboard with the light fingers and floating arm. Now we're going to practice moving across the strings with the light fingers while keeping the floating arm.